Hey everyone, it's Chase, and today I'm going to be showing you my guide for Ramuh EX1. This one's I really like this fight. I love what they're doing with these newer versions of the summon fights where they're very fast-paced, they call for a lot of utility, because at the end of the day, this is permanent content. So when it comes out and you can't clear it, it gives you something to look forward to, gives you a way to guide your future pulls if that's something that you're interested in. For me, I really like that. So huge fan of these new summon fights. I'm going to be walking you through how I built my team and why. First things first, let's take a quick look at Ramuh's character description, which is pretty lackluster because they don't mention at all that he's more vulnerable to physical attacks than to magic attacks. If the data mine that I saw is correct, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. He's got like 600 magic defense and 200 physical defense, so physical attacks are definitely the way to go. And then of course he is weak to water, so you want to use physical water attacks. That can be Glenn with the Stream Slasher, Lucia with Serpent Eater, Cloud with Maritime Sword, Sephiroth with Tempest. I have a buddy who is progging this using Water Tifa, and that's his best setup at the moment, so that might be how he clears it. But for most people, you're going to be using physical water damage to make this happen for yourself. Alright, so I'm going to walk through my team and why I've set them up the way that I have. This fight calls for a lot of utility, and so I've done a few things with my team to make sure they meet all of those utility requirements. Starting with Cloud, this is the first time I'm using Cloud in a legitimate guide of high-end content or late-game content, because I usually don't use him, but just over time, while pulling for other things, I've gotten different bits of gear and weapons for him that make him the best choice for my team at the moment. So Cloud's job is to be the primary DPS, to break extra circle sigils, which is something that you need, and to boost the team's magic defense when necessary. So for his gear, we have the Glavenus armor, physical attack, and physical ability mastery. In his main hand, he's got the Maritime Sword, which is one of the oldest gacha weapons in the game, so the command ability potency is pretty low. If I'm not mistaken, Glenn's Stream Slasher at OB1 basically has the same command ability potency as Maritime Sword at OB6, so that shows you how dated this weapon is, but it's still a good fit here. It's got the extra circle sigil boost and deals water damage, physical water damage, so it works. Bandage Sword in the offhand, this is for AoE magic defense up and a little bit of survivability. With Summon, I'm bringing level 10 Tidal Wave, and then for the materia, they're predominantly stat sticks to boost magic defense and or physical attack. So this one has a decent amount of physical attack as well. And then this is just the circle sigil boost, but also boosts HP and physical attack. For his sub-weapons, I'm just boosting his physical attack and physical ability potency. So we have Killer Hornet here, we have Mad Minute, and then the last sub-weapon is actually Nameless, and this is for survivability, because it boosts HP and lightning resistance. Here are Cloud's stats if you want to see them. 5k is actually kind of low these days. I've seen a lot of other people boosting it higher, but this is sufficient. And then here are Cloud's R abilities if you'd like to see them. Next up we have Zack. Zack's role is to lower physical defense, because Ramuh is going to be raising his own physical defense, lowering water resistance to a tiny extent, because you can see I don't have Black Whiskers at OB6 or higher, and then also lowering Ramuh's magic attack with Twinkling Star. So those are his jobs: lower physical defense, lower water resistance, lower magic attack. For his gear or outfit, we have the Shinra full dress uniform, that's boost HP and buff debuff extension, just 10 points. This isn't the plus version, it's just 10 points of the regular R ability. For his main hand weapon, we have Black Whiskers. The support material is going to be helpful for this one, the water boost, but the triangle sigil break isn't going to be helpful here because the EX versions of Ramuh call for circle and X sigils, not triangle. His offhand, Twinkling Star lowers physical defense and magic attack, also provides a little bit of extra damage for him and some survivability. For his limit break, I'm bringing Apocalypse just because it charges quickly, and we can use that to interrupt Ramuh quite a bit. We have an X sigil break. You don't need an extra X sigil break in your team. Just a regular X materia is more than sufficient. And then this Watera Blow is arguably very, very strong. 10% extra physical attack, and it's in Zack's boost water slot right here, so that'll allow him to deal some decent damage. And then this fire right here is just a stat stick, some extra HP percentage and some physical attack. For his sub-weapons, we have Glenn's Stream Slasher here, just for the physical attack boost to all allies. We have Yuffie's Arctic Star for physical attack and some extra buff debuff extension here. So this puts Zack at 25 points, as you'll see when we take a look at his R abilities. And then we have the Leviathan Cutter, just for some survivability, lightning resistance, and some magic defense. Here are Zack's stats, and then his R abilities are here. So he has exactly 25 points, which brings him up to 120% buff debuff extension. And then last but not least, we have Red 13. Red 13's jobs are keep the party alive, lower Ramuh's water resistance, and lower Ramuh's magic attack. Those are his three main jobs. For his gear, we have Canyon Duds, HP, and then debuff extension. So this is just 60% for debuffs, doesn't affect buffs at all. In the main hand, we have Silver Collar, so this allows him to break Diamond Sigils, which, sorry, is another one of his roles, because you need a Diamond Sigil break. So Red 13 is going to be handling that, in addition to lowering water resistance with this weapon. And the weapon has healing and buff debuff extension with an all-cure slot, so it allows him to heal the whole party. We have Junk Collar, that's going to let Red 13 lower magic attack. I decided to bring Sledfang for his limit break. You can also bring Stardust Ray or whatever it's called that just removes magic attack and physical attack buffs. This worked better for me, charges faster, and still lowers the magic attack as needed. This one's a little bit of a stat stick, HP and some magic defense, but it's also going to be Red's primary way of dealing damage if he does so. This is another physical attack and healing stat stick, and just an X-Ruinra or X-Sigil break if Red ends up needing to use it. He doesn't, so I could really replace this, but this is what I used for the run, so this is what I'm going to put in the video. And then this is just Akira, 5 stars for the potency here. For sub-weapons, we have Centipede at OV8 for the healing and buff debuff extension. We have Prime Number for the healing and the lightning resist. First time I'm actually using the lightning resist on Prime Number there. And then we have Yuffie's 4-point shuriken for survivability and some more buff debuff extension. You can see Red's stats here, but here are his R abilities if you're interested in those as well. So he's got a lot of buff debuff extension sitting at 150%, and that's in addition to his debuff extension on his outfit. Okay, so that is my team for the Ramuh fight. This is the first guide that I'm going to try and do live. I've upgraded my computer, so hopefully it works out. If not, whatever. Anyway, hope you find it helpful. See you in just a moment. Alright, first things first, Ramuh is going to summon 2 sparks pretty much right when he arrives. We can ignore them from now. I'll explain what they do once it's more relevant. But immediately after summoning sparks, he's going to use Electric Rampart. That raises his physical defense and water resistance. We're going to be addressing the physical defense using Zack. Both of his command abilities from weapons are going to address that. And we're going to address the water resistance also with Zack for now, with his Swirl Drop ability from Black Whiskers. Ramuh's going to start charging up Judgment Bolt. And we're going to be using Zack and Red 13 to lower Ramuh's magic attack, which is being raised by the sparks. That's what the sparks do. And then you may have noticed it already. I'm raising magic defense using Cloud. We've managed to raise our magic defense enough and lower his magic attack enough to survive. And that heal from Red 13 is going to put Red 13 above 50% HP, so that during the stream phase, while Red 13 is breaking Diamond Sigils with Rolling Claw, he'll also be able to lower Ramuh's water resistance because he's above 50% HP. Cloud's going to handle the Circle Sigils. Zack is going to handle the X Sigils because I didn't equip any other Sigil runs on him. And then these 2 limit breaks, I decided to just throw them out because I know they're going to be ready again by the time I need them. During the stream phase, the sparks are raising Ramuh's magic attack, so he's already back up to 3 tiers of magic attack up. But we're going to handle that here now that the stream phase is over. Zack's going to be lowering physical defense and water resist, but he should actually be lowering physical defense and magic attack, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. We're going to heal up with Red 13, and then as soon as we have Tidal Wave available on Cloud, he's going to use that to kill these 2 sparks. Charged Current lowers the magic defense of your party by 3 tiers, as well as lightning resistance by 1 tier. The Circuitous Bolt is just an AoE magic lightning ability. I decided to interrupt it with a limit break because why not? But it doesn't really deal a whole lot of damage. We're going to reverse the magic defense down with Cloud. 11 arrows will hit all of your party members with some damage, but it's going to stun one of them. Whichever party member gets stunned, Ramuh is going to focus with some single target lightning attacks, so just be sure to keep an eye on that character's HP. This time Cloud was our lucky winner, so he's going to be stunned for a little while. I'm going to use these limit breaks to interrupt some of Ramuh's animations so I can pull a little bit more ATB and address things more so on my own timetable. Once Cloud is unstunned, I'm going to have him finish reversing the magic defense down that's on our party. If you have an OB6 AoE magic defense up weapon, you only need to cast it once, but I'm poor, so I have it at OB3, I think. So 2 casts for this guy. Beyond that, we're just focusing on keeping all of our debuffs up with Zack, so physical defense, water resistance, and magic attack. We all want those debuffed on Ramuh. Thunder Lance is going to be a single target thunder attack against one of your party members. You can tell who's being attacked based on the square that appears above their name. In this case, it's Red 13, so we've lowered magic attack on Ramuh, and Cloud raised magic defense for the whole team. And Thunder Lance is going to stun whoever gets hit, so our Red 13 is going to be stunned for just a little while. That's completely fine. Please ignore that fire on Zack. That was I accidentally hit the 5 key a little too early. I meant to hit the key on Red 13, but oh well. We're going to go back into the stream phase. This is exactly the same as the first time. The Sparks do exactly the same thing they did before. They're going to raise Ramuh's magic attack. Ramuh is going to be using Bolt Charge to increase his gauge there, and you just want to make sure you're dealing enough water damage to make sure that gauge never completely fills. If it completely fills, he goes into Pronouncement and uses a Judgment Bolt that just kills your party. So make sure you're doing enough damage to make sure that that does not happen. I'm speeding this up again because there's really not that much going on, but once we break it, we want to make sure that we heal up with Red 13 and that we are lowering his magic attack since the Sparks will have raised it by quite a bit. And then with Cloud, we're just I don't know, just hit him. It's fine. With Tidal Wave, we're going to, just like last time, use it to kill the Sparks. And then Ramuh is going to do basically the exact same thing that he did the first time around. He's going to lower our magic defense. We're going to counter that with magic defense up from Cloud. Circuitous Bolt just does damage and not a whole lot of it. He's going to 11 arrows somebody, so one lucky party member is going to get stunned and then targeted with some single target lightning attacks that we'll be able to handle relatively easily. I'm going to continue to use limit breaks just to delay Ramuh as much as I can. Because why not? It's just free ATB, basically. We're going to heal up with Red 13 because we have some extra ATB, and our lucky party member is once again Cloud. So I'm not sure if he targets whoever has the highest HP at the moment, because I've seen him target my Zack during one of my runs. I'm not sure why. Just keep an eye on who gets targeted and don't let them die. Once again, we're keeping an eye on all of our debuffs, so making sure that water resistance is down, physical defense is down, and magic attack is down, and using whatever abilities we need to in order to make that happen. So I noticed that the water resistance down fell off, so I used Swell Drop on Zack and one Rolling Claw from Red 13 to bring that up to a high tier water resistance down debuff. Other than that, we can just keep smacking him. It's totally fine. Once he summons Sparks this third time, he's going to use Electric Rampart, just like before, but this time he's going to charge up a Judgment Bolt. So he'll use Arbitration, which means he's going to use Judgment Bolt right afterward. So you'll want to raise your party's magic defense, lower Ramuh's magic attack, make sure your party is nice and healed up so that this Judgment Bolt doesn't kill you. Keep in mind that now that the Sparks are here, they're going to be raising his magic attack, so you always want to be on top of that. And after he uses that Judgment Bolt, he's going to go into his stream phase again. So Storm Charge is the precursor to the stream phase that you will now be seeing for the third time. So same deal, not a whole lot to worry about there. Interrupt him as desired. Make sure you have at least a little bit of ATB going into the stream phase, although I've done just fine starting with basically no ATB, as long as you have a Diamond Sigil Break that only costs 3 ATB, so that'll be either Red 13's weapon or Barrett's weapon at the time of recording. I decided I was just going to go ahead and kill the Sparks right now. At this point, it doesn't really matter a whole lot when I'm using the limit breaks, just I don't want to hold them for too long. Now, with the amount of damage that my party is able to deal, Ramuh is not going to be able to go through another full cycle after this. I'm not sure if he goes through another full cycle or if he just enrages, but eventually he's going to hit a point where he just starts trying to charge his gauge as fast as possible, and you're just going to have to fight to keep it down. He's going to go into that phase pretty soon because we're slapping him pretty hard. Charge current, again, AoE magic defense down, lightning resistance down. I decided to focus on addressing it, but it turns out he's going into his enrage right now. So when you see greater bolt charge, he's going to start charging his gauge by 50% at a time. So if possible, time your attacks to make sure that he never hits full. And if you have limit breaks, I recommend using those limit breaks to make sure that he can't continuously get greater bolt charge off. So I'm going to interrupt this one, and he's going to have to recast it. So I'm saving a little bit of an attack with Cloud there just to make sure I can knock him right back down below 50%. At this point, things are starting to get pretty close, so I'm starting to use Watera Blow on Zack and Red 13. We have Red 13's limit break here, so I'm going to use it to interrupt. Otherwise, he would have fully charged the gauge there. We're going to go right back to attacking, but he's not long for this world. And that is the end of the fight. So, hopefully you found the guide helpful. If you did, feel free to like and follow for future guides. I usually make guides for fights that I find particularly interesting. If the fight just kind of falls over, then I don't make a guide for it. So, there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.